Please excuse me for these YouTube live videos where I'm on the road, but I'm just trying to make the most efficient of my time as possible. We save a lot of time um, recording these videos this way. It's not the ideal way to do it, but I've been doing this the last 2 years, and this is one of the best ways of getting my messages out. So earlier in the day, in the morning, we talked about recording the police, and are you able to do that? This video is designed for those who want to be police officers, or maybe they're police officers already, or maybe there's some First Amendment auditors that are trying to get some clarity on the topic. That's my preferred audience. That's whom the videos were directed to. And then one of the larger security channels, who I guess I'm not going to name him because he didn't name me. I mean, I really don't care. Mentioned something to the fact that I was being ignorant and I was excusing away the truth or something. So, I could do a response video. I just think it's not worth my time. I could do I replied already, but I just feel like it's a waste of time if I do a response video. I'd rather just keep pushing the content forward, and not necessarily, I want to say, commenting on one's character. I just don't think that's worth anybody's time, and to a point it's going to get too childish. So I'll just leave it alone for now. And again, I think I'm pretty much done talking about that topic on whether you can record the police or not. So I want to move on. I want to move forward and talk about whether the public can record security. Can people video record you performing your job duties? And the general answer is yes. As long as this person is on public property or an area that they're supposed to be, they can record you all you want. Guys, there's no reason to get your hands and start blocking the cameras. It just looks childish. It looks immature. It doesn't look right on camera. And then when you start smacking cameras out of the hands on others, their reaction, it just seems too violent, because you hear the phone hitting the floor and it looks like there's a violent attack, even though somebody may have just slapped the phone or whatever it is out of their hand. Somebody sent me email regarding Arcadia Security slapping someone's phone or taking their phone away from their hand or putting them under custody. I don't have too much information. This is a subscriber of mine that sent me a long email with some follow-up questions. And again, I don't want to do a fifth video or fourth video on Arcadia Security. I beat that topic to the core as much as I can, or as much as we did already. For me, it's just a waste of time. I think to a lot of other people, it's a waste of time, because the video, it just needs a lot more explanation on what is going on. Okay, but guys, they're able to record now. Let's try to use the current culture at the time. I mean, it's very common for somebody to get a cell phone and record you. And it's up to you how you are going to react to that topic. How are you going to react to that situation? Are you going to give them that reaction that they're begging for? And that reaction is not a very professional one. I will say that most private security are doing a good job when it comes to these First Amendment auditors. That is based on the number of videos that we see out there on YouTube. There's not a whole lot of them doing these audits on security officers. If I had to guess, I don't know, maybe 50 to 70 videos right now. Considering YouTube has been in existence for 19 years, there's still a significant amount, but there's not too many. When you compare that to the number of interactions on a daily basis that security has with the public, once again, it's the numbers probably don't lie. Okay, these are rare circumstances where private security are engaged in not too professional conduct. Okay, now there's another guy who's doing these audits, and he keeps pushing these people all the way to the edge until they react. Guys, don't be that person. Okay, I saw an Allied Universal Security Guard react, and then this person, it's like he pushed the camera out of the way, and this Allied Universal Security Guard was walking away, and then he gets pepper sprayed in the face by this individual. Let's try not for that to happen to us. I don't know this First Amendment auditor, if he called the police. I don't know what the circumstances are. What I will tell you is it's really hard to explain the rules and regulations as it pertains to filming people unless you have content, right? Like, don't you want to see content on YouTube, from YouTube or social media that shows private security officers, even police officers, engaging in these questionable First Amendment activities? And then I think what we'll do soon is we'll go live, and then we'll just comment on each of the videos. You know, what can you do? What is a preferred action that you take if you're in the same predicament? I think that's going to be a lot more beneficial than us just having this discussion with me not showing you nothing. I think a lot of the good knowledge that's present, that needs to be spoken about, it's a lot more easier to communicate that way. So we will definitely do that soon, and I guarantee that you guys are going to like that video. Okay, you guys are going to have your chance too. Now, just to be clear, if somebody is telling you that someone has a First Amendment right to record you as a private security officer, they are wrong. Okay, they're wrong. I really haven't heard that maybe a couple years ago. But what I do hear is these First Amendment auditors, and I put them in quotation marks because I don't know why they consider themselves First Amendment if the U.S. Constitution does not apply to your citizen versus citizen interactions. The Constitution pertains, for the most part, to those private citizens who act as an agent of the government. That's a different story. But most of the time, you as private security are not acting as government agents. For that reason, the First Amendment does not pertain to you. However, I think it's really important that you observe and respect the standards of the industry. And right now, the standard is just let them record, right? Unless they're interfering with business. So, what you might get on like a mall property or retail environment is you have somebody like filming like little girls or little boys or little kids with their camcorder. I mean, I don't see camcorders anymore, but they're recording with their cell phones, and then they're saying, "Oh, wait, a minute, I could do this. Wait a minute, I can do this because I have a First Amendment right to do so." First off, no, you don't. First off, the First Amendment pertains to the government. That does not pertain to private individuals. Second, you are on private property. So now you need to leave. One argument I see that the First Amendment auditors push, and I've done so many videos on First Amendment audits, I think like 5 or 6, maybe even 7. What they'll argue is the Vineyard versus Prunyard decision. Well, what these First Amendment auditors don't tell you is that decision involved a labor bargaining unit making some type of a world protest for something. There's some event in another part of the world, and they were protesting that event, and they were doing so on company property. That decision is for that. That decision, there's no decision that I know of. If you guys know of that, of a more recent of a decision that addresses someone having the right to record on private property that's open to the public, you let me know. It's still private property. It's private property. Okay, it's kind of like your front yard. Okay, does somebody have a right to go onto your front lawn or your apartment porch area or your condo porch area and start recording you? Do they? If the answer is Well, obviously not. That's my property. Well, next question is, can they enter the little common area of your apartment complex if you live in an apartment complex, and then start recording you? Well, the next question is, number one, does that involve some type of HOA regulation? Does it involve some type of private property regulation where the owner says absolutely no recording? Like what is the wanted, desired enforcement action? Okay, honestly, I can't think of a lot of reasons why it's a good idea to tell people they can't record on property. I just don't see a lot of benefits. In the 90s, working security in the mall property, we had a rule that you can't video record. And the argument was because there could be some pending litigation and they could be finding evidence against the client. It was the most dumbest reason. I felt totally uncomfortable telling the clients, the patrons of the property this, but I did because that's what they told me to do. And it's not illegal to tell somebody that if you are a private individual enforcing private rules. Now, after 9/11, in the state of California, we were mandated the WMD, the Weapons of Mass Destruction course, which told us that before there's an attack, there's something called a pre-incident indicator where the terrorist will record the property, the whole layout. And that does make sense. So it would make sense to ask these individuals, like, hey, what are you doing? But this was times before cell phone cameras became so common. Again, I felt uncomfortable asking people not to record because it could be a terrorist activity, but most people, they listen to you, right? So I'm gonna take some time real quick, go through some comments. Slender's here. He says, hey, Sean. What's up, Sean? Private Security Journal's here. He says, Arcadia, my Arcadia. Yep, you're Arcadia. Steve F says, let's go, Brandon. I'm not going to say who to vote for in 2024, but I vote red. Anyhow, Professor Security Joe says, are you talking about like how I sometimes hear them demand badge number and all that from security when they don't understand guards don't have any of those required info? Thank you so much for touching on that. Hey, and these First Amendment auditors, they pick on these people who probably don't know better. You're uneducated security guard. And I don't want to put, most security guards are not uneducated security guards. I'm not putting everybody in this category, but they pick the most vulnerable guards and then they start demanding stuff. I need your name and badge number. Like they're asking a police officer for the same information. And I'm so glad that Mike brought this up. So my understanding in Utah and Nevada, because that's where Mike is from, and even California, where I'm from, okay, you cannot demand, you could demand all you want, but you're not entitled to get a badge number and a name of a security officer. However, I tell you, in California, security on demand from a peace officer, they are required to produce their credentials. You are, and that is listed in the Business and Professions Code. But to the citizen out there who's upset, you don't have to give name or badge number. I mean, it's up to you if you want to. And in California, your badge number has to correlate to an actual employee number. But yeah, you don't have to. And then, oh, there you go. Professional Security Journal says, I just refer them to look me up in the database. There you go. Look me up in the database. See, guys, you don't have to be super helpful. If you're not a cop, you're not a police officer, you don't have to go out of your way and be more helpful. You're not a public servant. You're not a sworn officer. You're not sworn to protect the county, the city, the United States of America against foreign and domestic. That's not your responsibility. It's the private property in which you're contracted to. You don't have to provide all this information. There's something called public transparency. That's something that law enforcement needs to understand, and that's something that they need to honor. But there's no public transparency when it comes to when it comes to security. Now, I somebody sent me a video of Gates Security. There's a use of force incident, and Gates Security does monitor these videos. We talk all the time, but anyhow, I saw a video where they did some type of like use of force video, kind of like a debrief, and basically explaining. I think the owner of the company was explaining a use of force situation. I personally didn't think that was a good idea. And that's somebody that I don't have all the facts. I don't have all the information. My company's not on the line. I just felt that maybe it might do a lot more damage control than mitigation. But once again, I don't own that company. I don't regulate the company. That's just my opinion. I thought it was a bad idea. But it didn't go totally south. I mean, them publishing the video. I saw it. Somebody sent me it was like a TikTok video. It was like a year or two ago. I thought it was very professional of them. I think it was a show of transparency. Like, hey, like this is what happened. The problem is a use of force incident like that requires, in my opinion, I would prefer a use of force expert explain the situation rather than the owner of the security company. And that, again, that's just my personal opinion. Maybe somebody that's not attached to the situation. But I see what they're doing. Maybe there's a falling out with public trust because of the incident, and they felt like that's a way how to regain public trust. So, good on them if they felt that they need to be transparent, because a lot of security companies don't go that extra mile with providing these use of force debrief videos. Okay. Professional Security Journal says, but yes, we give our guard cards to officials. Yes, right. The Professional Security Journal says, ironically enough, Arcadia did the same. Okay. Oh, okay. What? Okay, send me a link. I need to see that video. So I didn't know that they did like a use of force video after the taser incident in the patrol car. Again, guys, I had like 6 people reach out to me. Hey, do a video on the event where Arcadia security patrol officer pointed a taser at the guy who was probably provoking a response from him. But again, for me, it's just a waste of time, and I don't want to keep poking at Arcadia. Let's just move on. I have some other security companies that we're going to discuss pretty soon when I have time. Okay. Oh, they did a written press letter. All right. Well, hopefully it was reviewed by the attorney. Something like that. Yeah. You know what, Mike? I think you want to do some damage control, because, man, that video had over 1 million views like within a week. You definitely want to do some damage control. All right, guys. I'm out. Again, I'm not. I know one of the security channels was kind of bashing me on a response video that I made in response to the police recording video, but it just looks childish to go back and forth and then do a video because somebody did a video of me. I'm gonna just move on. Just move on from that. Not move on from the topic. I still got my stance, but move on from just going back and forth. All right, guys, I'm out. Good night.